Hi, this is Kirk Everist, head men's water polo coach at the University of California, Berkeley. Today we're going to focus on defensive skills and drills. We're going to start off with 2-meter defense, then we're going to go to the perimeter and do drive defense, zone defense, and perimeter pressure defense. So let's get to work. All right, right now we're going to focus on 2-meter defense, the basics of 2-meter defense. What do you need to know as a 2-meter defender? There's a basic premise in defense of man, ball, area, 2 meters. And that goes with the 2-meter defender as well. You need to know where your man is, who you're guarding, and where the ball is so you know how to be ball side position. You need to know what's going on in your area around you. And obviously you're guarding the 2-meter man, so you know what's going on at 2 meters. But that man and ball are the key areas because you need to be ball side position at all times. The job description for the 2-meter defender, which clearly is the most important defensive position for any team, because that will dictate the defense that you are able to run as a group. You need to maintain ball side position first, okay? And what I mean by that is just as I described it. Wherever the ball is, if the ball is over here, and you are the 2-meter defender, you need to, at a minimum, be ball side position, okay? Your body, your head is on the same side as the ball. You need to try to force the 2-meter man away from the goal. Push them outside of the goalposts or outside of the strike zone. Okay? You need to fatigue the 2-meter offensive player. You cannot allow that 2-meter offensive player to relax. So constantly pushing, putting pressure on them, moving, making them work at all times during the offense. And the last thing is to not allow goals out of the 2-meter position. Statistically, this is the best position to score goals. It's the closest to the cage, it's right in front, and we cannot give natural goals out of 2 meters. So you have to utilize your fouls and put yourself in the best position to minimize the number of goals that are scored out of that position. The base position for the 2-meter defender is, again, ball side position. You want to have your head between the ball and your man. You want to be horizontal in the water. Your hips want to be high, okay? You don't want to get vertical. If you get vertical in the water, the 2-meter offensive player will be able to grab you and be able to handle your position. You want to be high in the water, hips up in the water, create some extension away. You don't want to be hugging or grabbing a lot at 2-meter defense if you possibly can. And again, ball side position, hips are up, horizontal in the water, and an ability to be very active and mobile and to continue to maintain ball side position at all times. What we're going to look at here are different styles of playing 2-meter defense. There's really basically 2 ways to play 2-meter defense. Either you're siding or you're fronting. The siding is, again, we talked about the basic premise of 2-meter D is you always want to be ball side. And that's what I mean by siding. You're going to have your front to the 2-meter man's back. Okay, so I'm gonna get ball side position. If the ball is over here, I'm gonna get myself into a position where I have a hold of the 2-meter offensive player, and I'm ball side, and I'm gonna move according to where the ball moves. Okay, I don't want to be hugging, grabbing really close. I'd like to get a little bit of extension. There's going to be times where you're chest to back, but you also want to extend away to allow for some separation between you and the offensive player to avoid ejections. So that's siding. And again, I'm going to have to move, and we're going to do some drills in the pool to focus on how do I get from one side of the pool to the other as the ball moves. So if I'm here and sided, if the ball moves to the other side of the pool, how do I get to this side and I'm sided again? Okay? That's a key skill for the 2-meter defender, to be able to be mobile and to move from side to side. If you stay on one, if I can't get ball side position, now the offense has all the advantage. The ball comes in, I'm on the wrong side, I'm behind. That's where you're going to get ejected and scored on. The second style is fronting the 2-meter offensive player. So I'm going to physically be in front of them. I'm going to be between the ball and my man. Okay? So I'm going to be out in front, and I'm going to try to maintain a fronting position, denying the ball into set. Okay? Denying the ball into 2 meters. This will allow my defense, as I said, the 2-meter defender, how they're playing defense is going to dictate how we play defense as a team. If I'm able to front, the ball will not be able to come in. We're going to be able to waste time, and we'll be able to press as a team defense. So I'm going to front on the outside. There's kind of 2 ways to front. I'm going to either go front to front, which means, again, if the ball is out here and the 2-meter offensive player is here, I'm looking at their face, looking back at the ball, but my front is facing their front. Okay? There's also back to front. You might have to spin a little bit and end up in a position like this, where the offensive player is behind me. Again, I'm always maintaining a sight line to the ball. I always want to know where the ball is. Go back to that again, basic premise of defense. I need to know where my man is. My man is behind me. I need to know where the ball is. The ball's over there. And I need to know what's going on in my area. Okay? I need to know what my teammates are doing so I can react if the ball is going to swing to the opposite side of the pool and I have to move quickly to react to that. Okay? So there's going to be front to back, front to front, and back to front. And we will focus on some of those drills on how to move from one side of the 2-meter offensive player to the other side of the 2-meter offensive player according to where the ball is moving. All right, so we're going to get in good 2-meter D base position. Your hips are up, your ball side. Okay, so the ball is over here. There's ball, your hands in the passing lane. All right, so again, you can see that their hips are up, their legs are moving quickly. They're ready to be active and mobile. That's base position for the 2-meter defender. All right, and this is a siding, okay, as opposed to fronting the 2-meter man. So I'm siding, I'm on the man, I have a little extension, so let's get a little extension away. So I'm going to push away and get an arm's length, half an arm's length away from the offensive player, okay? And then if I have to, and we'll go through this drill in a second, but if I have to go to the other side of the offensive player, I'm going to swing to begin with. So I'm just going to grab the lat and swing to the other side. So let's go, swing to the other side, and then reestablish that good base ball side position. Okay, another way to get around, let's go around the back, but let's go reverse spin to get back into that position. So now we're going to slide back around and reverse spin, spin away, there you go. And now I reestablish base position, okay? All right, so that's 2 ways. Now we're going to start, let's switch the defenders and offense. All right, now we're going to show you fronting. Okay, so you're going to front the 2-meter man, okay, and that's front to front. Okay, the 2-meter defender's head is facing the 2-meter man's head, okay? You can also go back to front, where you guys are going to almost set on the 2-meter man and kind of face the ball, all right? Again, not allowing the ball to get into 2 meters, okay? So again, good base position, their hips are up, they're facing the ball, they got a hand up in the passing lane, and they're fronting 2 meters, okay? All right, right now we're going to do a little walkthrough of 2-meter defensive drills that we're going to do in the pool a little bit later. All right, we'll start with siding. The first drill we're going to do is the swing drill. Remember, we talked about base position for a 2-meter defender. Hips up, ball side position. So I've got my hand in the lane, ball side position. As the ball moves, I'm going to swing back and forth to maintain ball side position. So the ball is traveling this way. I'm going to use the lat of my 2-meter man, which is right here in front of me, and I'm going to pull across and swing into ball side position. Again, as the ball moves again, I'm going to grab the lat and swing into ball side position, always maintaining that base position. Hips high, hips on top of the water, hand in the passing lane. So that's going to be the first drill, the swing drill. The second drill is going to be a swim around and lunge. So maybe I'm not going to be able to grab the 2-meter man's lat. I want to swim around. Okay? So as the ball again moves back and forth from side to side, I'm going to literally take a couple strokes, swim, and then lunge into the passing lane again. So we're going to swim and lunge. I'm in the passing lane, the ball moves, I take a couple strokes, and then lunge into the passing lane. Ball moves again, couple strokes, lunge into the passing lane, again maintaining at the end always good defensive 2-meter position. Hips are up, passing lane is covered. The third drill we're going to do is a reverse spin and lunge. So instead of swimming with my chest facing the 2-meter man's back, I'm literally going to reverse spin to move to the other side of the 2-meter man. So again, I've got my hand in the passing lane, my hips are up, I'm ball side position. As the ball swings, I'm going to reverse spin, turning my back to the 2-meter man, coming over here, and then lunging into the passing lane. Ball moves again, I reverse spin, turning my back, and lunge into the passing lane. So that's a reverse spin and lunge. The next thing we're going to do is side to front. So I'm behind the 2-meter offensive player, but I would like to establish a fronting position. So we'll move the 2-meter offense back, and I'm going to use in this first drill, the slip lunge, I'm going to use the 2-meter offense's momentum going backwards against him. Okay? So I'm going to be pushing against the 2-meter offense's back, and as his momentum's going backwards, I'm going to let him go. Okay, so as I'm pushing here on the back, I'm going to let go of that pressure. The 2-meter offense is going to move backwards because he's been working backwards, and I'm going to slip into a fronting position. And now I'm in front of 2 meters, and the ball can't come in. Again, I'm on this side, I've got ball side position, I'm pushing, 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 and then I'm going to let go. 2-meter offense is going to move back, and I'm going to slip in front into fronting position. It's almost like pulling a chair out from underneath somebody, right? As they're sitting down, they fall down, I step in front, slip in front, and now I'm in that good fronting position, denying the ball into 2 meters. The next drill we're going to do is a reverse spin to establish fronting position. So again, I'm in front, I'm behind, and I'm pushing, and then I'm going to reverse spin around and establish fronting position. From the other side, I'm pushing, and again I reverse spin, momentarily turning my back to the offensive player and establishing fronting position. You're always trying to get in front of the 2-meter offense so that we can go into a pressured type defense, and that's going to deny the ball into set. If you're in a fronting position, you're going to deny that ball into set as long as there's perimeter pressure on the ball. So the next drills we're going to do are fronting drills. Once we're in front, how do you maintain fronting position? First drill we'll do is the chicken wing. It's a 1-arm swimming drill. Again, I'm in ball side position, but I'm in front now between the ball and my player, right? And as the ball moves around the arc, around the offensive arc, I'm going to maintain contact with my off arm, and I'm going to swim with my out arm, the arm closest to the ball. So I've got a hand on the offensive player, and as the ball moves around the arc, I'm going to take a stroke and move into the passing lane, always maintaining a sight line with the ball and always maintaining my body in between the ball and my man. So again, as I move, I'm here, and then I'm at the point, the ball's directly in front of me, and as the ball moves from one attack side to the other, then I'm going to reverse spin and establish contact with my other arm. And as the ball moves to the deep wing, I swim over again. And then as it moves back along the arc, you'll see the players, again, 1-arm swimming, 1-arm swimming, then they'll reverse turn, maintaining, again, ball side position between man and ball, always maintaining that ball side position and contact with the offensive player. All right, the next drill we're going to do is a swim front drill. It's the same concept as the chicken wing front, but you're going to actually disconnect from the offensive player and then reconnect by taking a couple quick short strokes. So again, I'm ball side position, my hips are up, my legs are moving, that good base 2-meter defense position. As the ball moves around the arc, I'm going to disconnect from the offensive player, take a couple quick short strokes, and then reconnect. Ball moves again, I disconnect and reconnect. Ball moves again, changing arcs, I spin and reconnect, and the ball moves down to the wing, and I back away and reconnect with the offense. Same thing as it moves back the other way, I'm going to back away and then reconnect, disconnect and reconnect, reverse spin and reconnect, and then back away a little bit and reconnect. So you'll see the players doing that, getting a little bit of distance away from the offensive player and then reestablishing contact. Always, again, maintaining that ball side position, maintaining the hips up position, and maintaining that sight line to the ball. The next drill that we're going to do is a front recovery, where I'm going to recover over the top because the ball has moved multiple positions from one attack side to another attack side, and I want to maintain that fronting position. The 2-meter offense is closer to the cage, so I'm able to go over the top of the offense, meaning I'm going to stay in front as I change positions, okay? I'm going to come over the top as opposed to underneath behind the offense. So I'm in ball side position, and the ball swings from this side of the pool all the way over to the other side of the pool. Now, if I stay in this position, I'm going to give the offense that great passing lane into the 2-meter offensive player. I'm going to be in trouble. So I want to try to maintain that fronting position. As the ball moves, I'm going to swim in front of the offensive player, spin around, and maintain fronting position. I'm going to go around in an arc. I'm going to get away from the offensive player and swim fast, reverse spin, and maintain offensive position. So I'm moving multiple positions in the pool because the ball has swung from one attack side to the other attack side. So that's a front recovery over the top. Now we're going to do, the next one will be a front recovery underneath. So let's say the 2-meter offensive player is further away from the goal. The further away from the goal they are, the harder it is for you to go over the top, because if you go over the top, you're leaving a lot of water underneath between the 2-meter offensive player and the goalie for the pass to come in. The goalie will not be able to come out and help you as much, so you're gonna have to come underneath. So again, I'm in that good high lanes position. My hips are up. I'm within the ball and the man. I've got sight line with the ball. As the ball swings from attack side to attack side, I'm going to reverse spin behind 2 meters, take a stroke, and lunge into the passing lane. So we're using a lot of those movement skills. I'm in the passing lane. I'm going to use one movement skill as the ball swings to reverse spin and pivot, then a quick stroke, and that lunge move into the passing lane. And again, the ball moves, reverse spin, pivot, take a stroke, and lunge into the passing lane. All right, so now we're going to go just our basic swing drill back and forth, okay? So they're going to slide around, swinging, pulling on the lat, and getting back into position. Ready, go. Pull across, keep the hips up, and get into the ball side, get into the lane. Ready, go. And ready, go. All right, so they're pulling themselves back and forth to different sides as the ball swings back and forth. All right, now you guys are going to swim around, okay? Swim around, and then you're going to get that good lunge into the lane. Okay. All right, ready, go. So now they're swimming, and then they're doing a lunge move to get into the passing lane. Ready, go. Swim, and then lunge into the passing lane. Ready, go. couple strokes, and lunge into the passing lane. All right, ready, go. Couple strokes, and lunge into the passing lane. All right, so we're gonna go a reverse spin and a lunge back into the passing lane from behind the 2 meter man. Go, spin, and then lunge into the passing lane. Okay, creating some separation, not allowing yourself to get grabbed. Ready, go. There you go. All right, ready, go. Spin, couple strokes, and lunge back into the passing lane. Ready, go. And lunge into the passing lane, and one more time, ready, go. Spin, and lunge into the passing lane. Right now we're going to be from a siding position and establish a fronting position. The first one we're going to go is a slip lunge, where I'm going to use the momentum of the offensive player coming backwards, and I'm going to open up my shoulders and slip in front of him and establish a fronting position. All right, so we're going to go that slip lunge. You're going to offense, you're going to push back. Defense, you're going to open up, kind of pull the chair out from under him and slide in front. All right, let's go. Ready? Push and go. There you go. And now you're in the fronting position. All right, let's switch the guy. Just go offense to defense. We can do that. Okay, now we push. We're pushing and then release and come forward. There you go. So the defensive player is putting a lot of pressure on the back and using the momentum coming backwards to slide in front of him. So almost like pulling a chair out from underneath somebody and then sliding right out in front of him. All right, let's go again. There you go. Just let it go and pop that weak arm up and slide right back in front. All right, let's go one more time. Push. There you go. Now they've established fronting position. This one we're going to do a reverse spin. They're going to be behind and they're going to spin away, turning their back to the offensive player, but to rotate themselves about 180 degrees back out in front of the offensive player. Okay? All right, so push, and then you just go on your own. Then spin, out, and into a fronting position. Good. Switch. All right, push, and then spin, out. There you go, into that fronting position. Let's go one more time. Push and spin. There you go, into fronting position. And last time. Push and spin. Into a front position. All right, now we're going to go a couple fronting, 2 meter fronting drills. This one we're going to call, they're chicken winging across. They're doing a one-arm swim. They're going to maintain contact with the offensive player at all times and do a one-arm swim as the ball moves different positions. So the ball is going to move from the 1 spot to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 around the horn of the offensive structure, and they're going to move with the ball. Okay? So the ball's at 1, guys. All right, now the ball's at 2. They're always in the lane. Ball's at 3. All right, ball's at 4. Ball's at 5. Ball's at 4. Ball's at 3. Ball's at 2. Ball's at 1. Make the full 360 when the ball goes from 3 to 2, not when it goes from 4 to 3, okay? Because then if it goes back to 4, you're going to have to spin again. Does that make sense? Okay. Same thing. All right, ready? Ball's at 2, go. So they're there. The ball's at 3, and they stay in that spot. Now they're going to do a full 360. Ball's at 4. They're going to spin all the way around and change hips. Ball's at 5. Okay. Ball's at 4. Ball's at 3. Now they're going to do the 360 again. Ball's at 2, spin all the way around. Ball's at 1. Okay? Always maintaining contact with the offensive player. All right, now we're going to swim around. We're going to swim around to front, and you guys are going to get a little bit of extension and release from the offensive player. You're going to do this when he's grabbing or holding. Get away from him, and then swim back in to get contact in the front position. And we're going to slide around the same way from 1 to 5. All right, ball's at 2. Couple strokes out. Ball's at 3, a little jab step out and back to contact. Ball's at 4, spin all the way around. Jab step back. Ball's at 5. back to contact. Ball's at 4. There you go. Ball's at 3, same hip. Ball's at 2, reverse hip, spin around. Ball's at 1. Good. Switch. All right, ball's at 2, go. Ball's at 3, there you go. Ball's at 4, they're gonna spin. Ball's at 5. Ball's at 4. Ball's at 3. Ball's at 2, they're gonna spin. And the ball's at 1. Good. A front recovery drill swimming around the top of the offensive player. Okay. All right, so the ball's at 2, and then it's going to go to 4, and you guys are going to reposition. All right, ready, go. Good. All right, ready, go. And ready, go. And ready, go. All right, ready, go. Swim, spin a little bit. Get back, there's hips are up, high in the ball, in the passing lane. All right, ready, go. Spin, good. In the passing lane, hips are up, legs are moving. Ready, go. See how their legs are always moving. They get them back up and they're pumping, they're ready to be mobile. Ready, go. And they're back in that passing lane. The offensive player has you push too far out and you have to come back underneath the 2-meter offensive player, so they're going to recover underneath with a reverse spin and then a lunge around. Ready, go. So they're swimming, reverse spin, and then lunging back into that ball side position. Ready, go. Coming under, reverse spinning, and then lunging back into position. All right, switch. So there's going to be times where, as a defender, you're pushed too far out. The offense has you at 4 or 5 meters. And you can't go around the top because there's too much water between you and the goalie, and the ball can be passed in there. So you're going to have to come back underneath the 2-meter man so that you put yourself in a position to not get ejected. All right, ready, go. All right, ready, go. Ready, go. Ready, go. Right now we're going to focus on perimeter defense. There's kind of 3 areas of perimeter defense: pressure defense, drive defense, and zone defense. What do you need to know as a perimeter defender? I'm going to go back to this. I've mentioned it before. The man ball area 2-meter principle. Okay, I need to know where my player is. Who am I guarding? Okay, I need to have that information. I need to know where the ball is at all times, because that will dictate where I play as a defender. Remember, I always want to be ball side. I want to be between the ball and my man to prevent direct passes. So I need to know where the ball is in order to make that decision as to where I'm going to play. I'm also going to use that information to understand how far away or how close I need to be to the offensive player, depending on how far away the ball is. Okay? I can be farther away if the ball is farther away, because it's going to take longer for the ball to get to my player, and I'll have more time to cover that water. I need to know what's going on in my area, so I need to know I can't just focus in on my player and the ball, because if there's something that's going on behind me, I might need to help. Okay? I might need to switch. I might need to help my defensive player, teammate. Okay? So I have to know what's going on in my area, because that could again change how I play defense. And then I also need to know what's going on at 2 meters. Okay? We talked about the 2-meter defender, siding and fronting. As situations change, as a perimeter defender, I need to know that information so that I know if I can continue to stay in a press or if I might need to help back for my 2-meter defender. Okay? So again, I need to know where my man is, where the ball is, What's going on in my vicinity of the pool and what's going on at 2 meters. Pressure defense on the perimeter. I want to establish ball side position. Okay, I don't want to play straight up with the player I'm guarding. Okay, if the ball is here and I am guarding this player, I don't want to play right here. I don't want to play straight up. I want to get in the passing lane. Okay? I want to get in that passing lane. And I want to, again, always establish where that ball is, create that sight line to the ball so I always know where that is and I can make decisions based on where the ball is. Okay? I want to force the offense away. By getting into the passing lane, I'm going to force the defender to either drive away or to come out to receive the ball. If they come out, they're going farther away from our goal. That's a good thing. The farther away, the harder the shot. I'm forcing them away from the strike zone in front of our cage, which is back here. Okay? And I want to slow down ball movement. Okay? As if I can be in the lanes, if I can foul the ball, if I can force the ball to be in the water out here, I'm slowing the ball movement, which is allowing the 2-meter defender to reposition, potentially regain fronting position. All of the above is being dictated by my ability on the perimeter to press the ball and slow down the ball movement. Drive defense. This is when the offensive player is moving, driving towards the cage, attacking the cage. I need to anticipate that movement. Okay, and I'm going to get back to the basic. I need to know where he is and what he's doing. Okay, I also need to know where the ball is. If the driver beats me inside water, but the ball can't be passed to him, then you're not in bad defensive position. You have time to recover, but unless you know where the ball is, you're not going to be able to make that decision. So I need to anticipate the driver's motion and his movement. I need to be mobile. Okay, we talked about the positions in some of our movement drills of hips high, my legs are moving, I have good RPMs on your legs. Okay, my legs are moving quickly. That's going to allow me to be mobile. If I just dangle them out and I have to react, then I have to pull my legs underneath in order to go from side to side. So I need to stay mobile and I need to keep my arms and my legs moving so that when that driver moves, I can move with them. And then I also want to try to create and maintain that ball side position. No matter where the driver goes, I'm going to try to maintain a position between the ball and my man. So what I mean by that, again, let's go back to kind of the diagram we had before. The ball's over here. I'm guarding, and I get up into the ball side position. Okay, so I'm in good position, and the cage is back here. And I get driven into this area. I'm going to hip over. We talked about the hip over moves, or maybe I'll reverse turn. But I'm going to spin and chase the driver and maintain a position between now the driver's here and I'm here. And I've maintained that ball side position. I am between my man, my player, and the ball. Okay? So that's drive defense. Lastly, we're going to cover zone defense. All right? Zone defense is when the 2-meter defender is caught behind the offensive player, and we're going to need to come into a defense that will help that defender play defense while he's caught behind. The base position for zone defense is head in, feet out. We'll talk about head in, feet out. Head in towards the 2-meter offensive player, feet out towards the shooter. Okay? In a zone defense, my job is to prevent a direct pass into 2 meters because the 2-meter defensive player is behind, as well as preventing a direct shot on the cage. I'm going to do that by hipping over and coming into a field blocking position, taking away part of the cage so your goalie does not have to take the entire goal. As my offensive player gives up the ball, makes a pass, I will come back into head in, feet out position, establishing an ability to help 2-meter defense, as well as putting my body in a position to hip back over if my offensive player gets the ball. I will do one of two things when I hip over. I will either close out on the offensive player, meaning I'm going to go and knock them down if they are close enough to me, or I'm going to stay at a specific position based on the offensive player and how far they are away from the cage. If they're at 10 meters out, I might not go all the way out there because it's too far for me to get back and help 2 meters. I have to know that I've got to be able to get to the shooter as well as help back at the 2 meter position. Okay, so the head in, feet out position is what we're going to focus on in some of these drills and show you how to rotate over, how to cover that water, and how to recover back so that you can help out the 2 meter defender when they are stuck behind. Let's do a walkthrough of the defensive drills we're going to cover today. First we'll start with drive defense, then we'll go to zone defense, and then pressure defense. On the drive defense, we're going to do a drill called backwards skull. You're going to back up as the offensive player is driving towards the cage. So I'm going to maintain that good drive defense position. My hips are up, my arms are out, I'm on one hip. So let's just say I'm on my left hip, I'm horizontal in the water, my hips are on top of the water, I'm sculling with my out hand out above my head, and I've got my back hand up towards my chest, and I'm sculling. As the offense moves towards the cage, which is back here by the board, I'm going to skull backwards and move backwards. Like a shuttle drill in basketball. I'm shuttling backwards, giving some space, maintaining inside position between my player and the cage, okay? And trying to maintain that ball side position as well. So I'm going to backwards skull. Slide back, keeping my hips up. If I'm going back this way, I'm on a different hip now. I got my right hand out and my left hand close to my body, and I'm sculling backwards and shuttling backwards, okay? So I'm backwards sculling to give some water to the driver, maintaining that position between the driver and the cage. The next drill we're going to do is a hip over drill. I'm in the same basic position, got my hips up, my legs are moving, I'm on one hip, so I'm mobile. As the drive moves, the drive's going to move in front of me here. I'm going to anticipate the drive, and I'm going to use that hip over skill that we did in our movements, and I'm going to hip over, maintaining, looking at the driver. I'm going to have my chest towards the driver, hip over to the inside position, and swim with the driver. So again, I'm in that defensive position. The driver goes. I hip over, maintaining sight line with the driver, come down and swim with the man, okay? So that's the hip over. Now we're going to do a reverse spin. You're going to use the reverse spin when you really get beat back door. So I'm up in the lane, taking a risk because I'm way up in the lane, and I'm giving the driver a lane to go back door on me. If I get beat, I don't want to spin inside like the hip over move, because I'm going to end up on the driver's back. And that's going to end up being a good possibility for an ejection. So what I'm going to do is reverse spin. As I'm up in the passing lane and the driver goes back door on me, I'm going to reverse spin away, turning my back to the driver, maintaining a sight line with the ball, and then coming back around and trying to maintain, reestablish inside position. So again, I'm up in the lane, the drive goes back door, I reverse spin, sight line with the ball, come all the way around 360, come back to inside position between the ball and my man. The next drill we're going to do is extra stroke. So what I always want to do is swim by the driver, take an extra stroke, and whip my hips around to get into good position. My hips are up, I'm between the man and the cage, I've got ball side position. So we'll use a prop again. This is the driver. The driver's already gone by and I'm swimming. Maybe I've done my hip over drill and I'm swimming with the driver. I'm going to come an extra stroke and whip my hips around and get back into base drive defensive position. I'm going to swim past the driver, whip my hips around, and then get back into the ball side position. I don't want to stop here and end up with my hips here, because that's going to give the driver another lane to the cage. I need to take that extra stroke, whip my hips around, regain contact with the driver, and then get myself back into ball side position. Next drills we're going to go through are zone defensive drills. We're going to use that hip over move. So I'm in a zone. The base position for zone defense, as we covered, is head in, feet out. Head towards 2 meters, feet out towards the perimeter player. So we're going to work on hip overs. I'm head in, feet out. My hips are up. I'm on one hip. I'm looking, my head's on a swivel. I'm looking out at the offensive players and back towards 2 meters. I'm assessing the situation always. When my player gets the ball, I'm going to hip over and establish a field blocking position. And then as my player gives up the ball, I'm going to come back into my head in, feet out, base zone defensive position. All right, I'm trying to cover as much water as I possibly can to create, to make it a worse angle for the shooter and the passer. When I hip over and come into that field blocking position, I'm taking away part of the cage from the shooter, but I'm also putting a hand up in the passing lane to 2 meters. I want to deny a direct entry pass into 2 meters. So it's head in, feet out, hip over, and then back into the position. The next drill that we'll work on is closeouts. Now this is started with the hip over. I'm head in, feet out, and I hip over, but now I'm going to close out on the offensive player. I'm not going to drop and swim. That will open up a passing lane and a shooting lane at the cage. So I want to maintain that field blocking position. I hip over and I field block, and now I'm going to move out towards the offensive player. I have my out arm sculling. I have my up arm matching hands with the shooter. If the shooter's a right-handed shooter, you're going to have your left hand up. If it's a left-handed shooter, I'm going to have my right hand up. So I'm up in field blocking position, and as I go out, I'm going to close out on the offensive player, meaning I'm going to put my right hand into the chest of the shooter or the passer, and I'm going to close out with my field blocking hand and knock the ball down. Force the defense or the offense to turn their back to the cage, force them to put the ball down. If the ball's in the water, if they turn their back to the cage, you've stopped them from having a direct entry pass into set. So that's the closeout. The next two drills we're going to work on are pressure defensive drills. We're pressuring the ball. Your player has the ball, and we want to keep the ball under pressure. Okay? So you're going to work on a weak shoulder push. The offense is right-handed, let's say. I'm going to have my right hand on their left shoulder. And I'm going to push down and put my hand up into the passing lane. Okay? I'm pushing down on the shoulder and keeping one hand up, so I'm not just grabbing with two. I've got one hand pushing down on the shoulder to force them away from the cage, and I got one hand up in the passing lane. So that's the weak shoulder push. The next one we're going to work on is a hands up steal. It starts with that weak shoulder push. I'm pushing down on the shoulder, and as the offensive player tries to draw a foul by letting go of the ball, you're going to throw your hands up to avoid the foul, and then try to slip around to steal the ball. Okay, so you're going to use that little 2 meter defense drill that we did where we're slipping through. I'm pushing down on the shoulder. Offense drops the ball to draw a foul. I'm throwing my hands up to avoid the foul and slipping through the offensive player to try to get a hold of the ball. So those are the pressure defensive drills that we're going to work on. Remember, we always want to establish ball side position if at all possible when we're playing defense, either drive or zone defense or pressure defense. We want to establish a ball side position. On the zone defense, we want to eliminate direct entry passes into 2 meters as well as direct shots on cage. And on pressure defense, obviously we want to make the offense turn away from the cage. We want to make them put the ball down, and we don't want to give them a direct entry pass into set or the ability to move the ball into a good attacking position. So those are some of the drills we're going to work on tonight. Let's get down to the pool and get at it. You guys, I just want you to get in good base position. Hips are up. You're looking at the ball, which is to your left. You're looking over your left shoulder and the ball's over there. Your hips are up, they're moving, and you're in the passing lane. Okay, your legs are moving, so you're mobile. You're ready to play drive defense. Okay, your top arm is low, your Bottom arm is in the passing lane. There you go, good. Okay, so you see how their hips are up, they're in the passing lanes, and they're looking at the ball, which is to their left. Okay, they got a hand up in the passing lane, which is their top arm, and their bottom arm is under the water sculling or getting a hold of the driver. Okay, so that's just base position drive defense. A backwards skull drill, and the offense is going to take a couple strokes, and the defense is going to skull backwards, giving a little bit of water, giving them a little bit of space, and keeping their hips up on top of the water. Okay, so as they move, I want your hips to stay up in the water. Okay, keep your hips up. You can take a couple strokes and just skull back. Go, Sharp, you can go. Move, move. Okay, that's it, slow. Okay, so they're gonna skull backwards, just give a tiny bit of water. There you go, that's it, giving a tiny bit of water. Sculling back, they're giving water and sliding along with the offensive player. So they'll hip over and swim with the man. Hip over and swim. Hip over and swim, staying between the man and the ball. Hip over and swim. Reverse spin and inside. Okay, now on the right, reverse spin and inside. And on the left again, go. Reverse spin and inside. And go. Reverse spin and inside. So they're reverse spinning because they want to turn away their beat a little bit. If they turn strong side, they're going to end up on the offensive player's back, which could be an ejection. If they turn away from the driver, they're going to avoid going on top of the offensive player's back, and they're going to be able to spin back into inside position and avoid an ejection. This is an extra stroke drill. The defense is going to get beat, and the defense is going to come around and take that extra stroke and whip their hips around into good defensive position. So he turns and then he swims to the inside, takes an extra stroke, and whips his hips back inside position. A little bit extra work, but if you stop too soon, the offensive player has a lane to go back at the cage or make a second move. So I'm going to take that extra stroke and whip my hips back inside position. Extra stroke and whip the hips back in and get back into that base drive defense position. So we're going to go head in, feet out, hip overs here, zone defensive drill. They're going to rotate over their hips, hip over, into a field blocking position, covering water without swimming and getting up high to be in a field block position. Go, hip over and out and back. Let's try to use that worm move to come back into position instead of swimming. Okay, so use your momentum, you're up high, and then slide back into spot. All right, ready, go, up, they're in position, and back. And they slide back. And you see we're using that worm move that we did in the movement drills to slide back into position without swimming. All right, ready, go, up, they cover water, and back. They slide back into position to help at 2 meter D or help with something that's going on behind them. All right, ready, go. And back. All right, so ready, go. Rotate up and close out. All right, so they're going out, they're putting their weak arm into the chest of the offensive player and bringing their out arm on top of the ball, or going for the elbow basically, okay? So you're going to attack that elbow, attack the body with your skull arm, attack the elbow with your out arm. Ready, go. Hip over, close out, and put them down. All right, ready, go. Hip over, close out, and attack that elbow, put the ball down. Let's go one more. All right, ready, hip over, close out, and attack the elbow, attack the ball with the out arm. Okay, we're gonna do some pressure defense. They're gonna push on the weak shoulder. So it's a weak shoulder push with their grab arm, and then their outside arm is gonna attack the ball. Okay, so they're pushing down on the offensive player's shoulder, and they're attacking the ball. All right, so let's back up a little bit, and then you're just gonna go out, you're gonna, be on top of them, and then just push down on the shoulder and attack the ball. All right, ready, go. Go. All right, so they're pushing down on the shoulder and attacking the ball. Okay, release. All right, get in position, ball. All right, push and attack the ball. Go. All right, push and attack the ball. All right, so what we're going to do here is they're going to push down on the shoulder and then try to, when the offensive player tries to draw the foul by letting go of the ball, you're going to immediately use, the minute they let go of the ball, you're going to throw your hand straight up in the air and try to go at the ball for a steal. All right, ready, go. Press, and then come around the guy. So it's a timing move. The offense is going to try to draw a foul by letting go of the ball, and you're going to throw your hands up to try to avoid the foul and come around to steal. So you're using a lot of your legs, coming up and coming around the defender, almost slipping like we did with that slip 2-meter defense move. I'm throwing my hands up, and I'm coming around the defender and stealing the ball. Up and out and take it. All right, so that was the defensive skills and drills portion. I hope all you athletes can take a little bit from that, learn the base positions, some of the motions that are going to help you play better defense on the perimeter and at 2-meter defense, and good luck with all your work.